Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Puranana Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Paramanandamadhavam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Samprapte san Krankarane. All right. So you know the anecdote, right? You know what prompted this outburst of compassion. Sometimes when compassion is expressing, there is no formality. When there's lots of love in our heart and we want to say something, and when we really care for the other person, and when the problem is so vast and huge and so dangerous, at that time there is no nicety. You just want to tell. Suppose the house is burning. I think Gurudev gives that example. Suppose the house is burning and then your mother or father, somebody is resting inside. At that time you don't go and say, Pitashri. You don't say, are you resting? Do you know what is happening around? No. There's no time. You just rock your father. Say, get up. Father, get up. Run, run. Why? There's fire. It's very dangerous. The same way, Shankaracharya sees this person, this old person. In fact, it is applicable for any person, not necessarily only old person. But an old person at least should wake up, because for this old person there is consciousness and awareness of death knocking the door. For a young person also this is true, but the young person may not be aware. It is not that death comes when we are old. It is not that death comes at an appointed hour. It tells you beforehand, I am coming at a particular age. It's not like that. Death is always waiting. That is why if you see here, samprapte sannihite kale. Can you see that word? Samprapte sannihite kale. What is the samprapta? Samprapta means what has come. Sannihita means what is near. There is one thing which is sure. for any child which is born. We don't know whether the child will become what. Whether the child be a good person or will be a noble person or a ignoble person, happy person, sad person, what profession he is going to take. Nothing we will know for sure. But one thing we all know, that it will die one day. Swamiji, is this a way to say, child is born, everyone is happy in the house and you are saying it will die one day? But that's the truth. However much we want to avoid the truth, that is the truth. So when someone is born, that person also is going to die. And birth, human embodiment, is an opportunity for the greatest exploration possible. Human embodiment is an opportunity for the highest possibilities. You can maximize the potential of the human embodiment. Every embodiment means every creature with a certain body, that is called an embodiment, is bound by instincts, is bound, tied, totally tied. Only a human embodiment can conquer the mind. In other embodiments, this conquest of mind is not there. In fact, every creature, every being is governed by the mind. Maximum they can. For example, if it is an eagle, let us say, an eagle can go a certain height. It can go a certain height. It can also go a little more. But there is limits. There is a limit. But a human being can find ways and means to break the limits. To break the limits. Because human beings can employ knowledge in a very different way than other creatures, birds or animals or plants. Can employ knowledge to great advantage, can put things together to create a greater, can put information together to create a greater knowledge. The human capacity. Human capacity. So the ability to explore uncharted spheres, ability to rise above what is possible, to conquer great heights. And the greatest of all human accomplishments is to master the mind. That is great. Why? Why do you say, Swamiji, to master mind is so great? To master mind is so great because only human beings have the capacity to watch their mind. Only we can sit and think, what did I say? Why did I say? Is there any deeper thoughts? Where is this fear coming from? Why am I afraid? Suppose they call you to come and give a short, explain what you have studied today. You know what you have studied, but then when you come here, and suddenly you say, why am my hand shaking? Quieten down, calm yourself, don't be afraid. This kind of self-look, this kind of introspection is very unique to human beings. Very unique to human beings. When a dog is sitting quietly and a human being is sitting quietly, right? A dog is also sitting quietly, a human being also sitting quietly. And the human being is thinking very deeply. Yeah, of course, a dog is also thinking. I am not saying dog is not thinking. But a human being can think why he is thinking. A human being can explore his own mind and ask deeply analytical questions. Why? Why? And the human being can also self-correct his thoughts. Self-correct his thoughts. Can give permission to the thoughts, can take permission to the thoughts, can tell the thoughts to be quiet, can energize the thoughts. If feeling sleepy also, he can wake up. Right? Sometimes you will feel in the class and you say, no. You can do so many things with your mind. This capacity is unique to the human embodiment. And therefore, the greatest of all achievements possible is to master the mind. Really speaking, even that is not the greatest achievement. Mastering the mind and to go beyond the mind. Now, what is meant by going beyond the mind? See, our body is there. What governs the body? Mind, let us say. Mind governs the body. What governs the mind? What propels the mind? One can ask this question. And when one asks this question, what propels the mind? What makes the mind function? What is that power which causes the mind to think? What is that which makes the mind aware? What is that source from which the mind gets its capacity? One thing is to mind your mind. Another is to find what minds the mind. What is that? Now, to find out answers to that questions very deeply and not to repeat answers what you heard from somewhere. Are you getting the difference what I'm saying? To find answers to those questions experientially. Experientially. Not repeating answers. So suppose you are hearing from Vedanta, what prompts the mind? Suppose. What prompts the mind? And then you have heard somewhere. It is called as existence. It is called as consciousness. Suppose you have heard that. And then you are saying. Answer may be right. But it is not my own answer. It is an answer repeated from somebody's experience. And therefore, to find answers to such mega questions, or find answers to that deep questions, to find answers to those ignored questions, to find answers to those very consequential questions, even though unthought of questions by the majority. This is a unique capacity of human beings. And therefore, when Sri Shankaracharya finds that man, and then he may be an old man, okay, but the fact is that death is there for everyone. Samprapte. For that old man, it is near, because after a particular age, the body is going to go. For that old person, it is near. Sannihite. Okay, do you see those two words? Samprapte means what? Samprapte means already is there. Because for everybody, death is already there. Yes? Yes, for everyone, including the person who's sitting here. Death is there. That is why samprapta. The moment you are born, death has come. That is why samprapta. For the old person, it is near. Sannihite. Because after old age will come death. But it is not necessary that old age comes, it is not that death comes only after old age. In fact, none of us know when death is going to knock at our doors. And before death overpowers, there is something the human embodiment can do. There is something a human embodiment alone can do. There is something a human embodiment is capable of doing. Has that been done is the question. Animal is also born. Animal also grows. Animal also educates itself in whatever it requires to be educated. Is it not? Animal also, birds also, they educate themselves. They know where to catch fish. They know. So animal also is born, animal also grows, animal also educates itself in a certain way, whatever is required. Animal also marries, if you want to say, meaning it finds a partner. Animal also has a child. Now, if human also is born, human being also grows, human being also educates himself or herself, human being also finds a partner, marries, human being also has a progeny, child, then man's human being's life and animal's life, you compare, it is same. Then what happened to the super potential of a human being? If man and animal do the same thing, what is the difference between man's potential and animal's potential? Yes. Man's potential, highest potential is what? Is to master the mind and go beyond the mind and find out who he is truly. For in finding out who one is truly, one discovers one's true nature, which is not the body, which is not the mind, which is not the intellect, which is not the senses, which is not the pranas, but one finds oneself to be one with the divine. This is what the Vedas say, Tat Tvam Asi. Have you heard this statement? Tat Tvam Asi. Tvam means you. Tat is that reality. That reality you are. Now today when we hear this kind of statement, that reality you are, for example, you had a discussion, I am one with Paramatma? Is it not ego? Is it not pride? If one says, this is Paramatma, this limited body is Paramatma, that is foolishness. It is not even pride and ego, it is absolute foolishness. But we are not talking of the body, we are not talking of the mind, we are not talking of the intellect, we are not talking even of the individual, the ego. We are talking of that which is beyond the body, mind and intellect and the ego, and that principle of consciousness is one with the supreme consciousness, because that principle of consciousness, that ultimate reality, is one and cannot be broken into parts. The division of parts is from our perception, not from the truth. Example I will give you. Whole ocean. Okay? Ocean has got many waves, right? Each wave is what? H2O, water. Ocean is also what? Water. Whole ocean is water. Then the division of ocean into waves is not from the standpoint of the ocean, but it is from the standpoint of the perceiver. Because if you ask the ocean, who am I? What will the ocean say? H2O. Suppose you ask the wave, if the wave has understood its true nature, and we ask the wave, who are you? And the wave says, H2O, I am water. Is that ego? Is that arrogance? Is it pride? No, it is discovery. It is discovery. If the wave were to think itself as the wave, careful, subtle point. If the wave were to think itself to be the wave and claim I am the ocean, that is called arrogance. If the wave, identifying with its small wave, small waviness, thinks it is the ocean, that is called ego, that is called pride, that is called as ignorance actually. But if the wave understands I am H2O, and the ocean also is H2O, and therefore I am one with the ocean, and there is no difference of wave and ocean because everything is H2O only. That is called as realization. In other words, your truth, your Sat Chit Ananda, your truth, Sat Chit Ananda, like how the wave can find itself to be H2O. In the same way, if we can find our truth, not to be the wave is equal to our body, our mind and intellect, but find our truth. What is our truth? Our truth is Satchidananda. Then one understands this Satchidananda alone is that ocean's truth. Ocean's truth is also what? Satchidananda. And my truth is also what? Satchidananda. And there is only one Satchidananda. What is Sat? What is Chit? What is Ananda? Sometime later on we can. And this is what Shankaracharya is telling that person. You are wasting your time in inconsequential activities. You should find out what is the truth of yourself. For in finding the truth of yourself, you gain the ultimate purpose of being a human. You gain the ultimate purpose of being a human. Otherwise, your life and animal's life is one and the same. Is one and the same. Therefore, he says, what does he say? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukran Karane. This Dukran Karane, meaning memorizing of grammar rules, meaning an action which does not bring about the fulfillment of what you want to, what you are actually. Dukran Karane. The memorization of grammar rules. It can be memorization of mathematics tables also. What is wrong? Mathematics tables. Or let us say some chemical formulas. Or let us say some physics equations. Or let us say some axioms of geometry. In other words, whatever knowledge, whatever education that you are gaining, if finally it does not help you find out your true nature, then that is called as Dukran Karane. So how many of us have done Dukran Karane? Let us raise our hands. All of us have Dukran Karane. Very successfully we have done Dukran Karane. Is it not? Very successfully. But is that useless? Is that useless? If that were to be useless, we would not be here sitting. Correct? You all are very successful. Very successful. And seeing your success only, you have been selected for this program. You agree? Swamiji, I am not so successful in this, Swamiji, but I am very successful in art. That is another form of Dukrankarane. Swamiji, I am very successful in media and media, related things. My Instagram post that is also another Dukrankarane. Another Dukrankarane. Why? Why do you say it is Dukrankarane? As long as it does not help you find out your real nature, it is Dukrankarane. Then is that useless? That's the question. No, it is not useless. That knowledge should help you find a way to come to that ultimate discovery of oneself. For example, let us take this grammar, Dukrankarane. What is the purpose of grammar? To understand language. What is the purpose of understanding language? To communication, you are saying. But actually, I will say a little more. The purpose of understanding language is to go to such treatises which give you great wisdom. And not stop with just newspapers. Correct? Now, so the purpose of language is to understand. Purpose of language is to understand those means of knowledge, those treatises, those texts which help us find out greater purposes for life. And when you look at some of the best treatises which are in this field of helping us discover ourselves, we come to Vedas. So language, now from language to grammar to language to understanding to Vedas, and then in Vedas, that portion which deals with the nature of the self, that is called Vedanta. In Vedas, the portion which deals, the philosophical portion which deals with the highest questions of life, they are called Vedanta. Then you come to Vedanta, and now what are we doing? We are in the classrooms of Vedanta, right? And then what do? We understand further and go deeper. In other words, grammar should lead to comprehension of ourself. In other words, grammar is a means to an end and not an end by itself. What about mathematics? Mathematics also is the same. Mathematics is a means to come to a greater understanding. And it is not an end by itself. It is not an end by itself. Now, Swamiji, from grammar, you said how I can come to the realization of the self. Are you able to understand how from grammar? Grammar. Next step is what? Language. Language is to what? Understanding. Understanding to Vedas. Vedanta. Then from there to discovery of the nature of the self or God. Okay? Connected. Now, mathematics, how do you connect like this? Not possible to connect, huh? No. Grammar has got connection. Mathematics, no connection. You know, very beautifully Albert Einstein, he says, physics or whatever, mathematics, physics, whatever, he says, by this I understand the mind of God. I understand the mind of God. What do you mean? What does he mean by I understand the mind of God? What he means is that this entire creation, which is so perfectly in action, in execution, so much so you can exactly tell what time the sun is going to rise. So much so you can tell exactly at what speed the rocket should go so that it can escape the velocity. It can escape the gravitational pull of the earth, escape velocity. If everything is so precise and well ordered and well regulated and so precise in its functioning, is it not showing something about the creation? And if such a perfect creation has been put in place, that which orders such a creation, that which envisages such a creation, that which conceptualizes that creation, that which brings forth such a creation, what should be that mind? Here you are seeing the stage. Here you have one altar here. Yeah. Here you have one. Do you think all of them just one day they got up and then walked there, and one sat here, another sat here, one photo went there, another photo went there, and then table came here by itself? Do you think like that? No. When it is well ordered and arranged, you understand somebody has put an order in it. Right? If something is haphazard here, there, you understand people who have set up this place are very haphazard. Correct? If everything is so orderly, well managed, well governed, and working so well, you understand that there is a greater principle behind action. If mathematics is so perfect, if physics is so perfect, if chemistry is so perfect, if biology is so perfect, if botany is so perfect, if zoology is so perfect, if quantum physics is so perfect, if atoms are so perfect, between the atom the electrons are so perfect, and within that the neutron and the proton holding all the electrons so perfect, that which manifested this perfection. Do you see how every knowledge is supposed to take us to a perception of a greater power, of a perception, of an intuition into a greater secret? Do you see that? One of the great Tamil saints, his name is Thiruvalluvar, my mother tongue is Tamil, he says beautifully, Katradanal aya payan enkol, Valarivan natrar todar enin. It looks like Greek and Latin. Very beautifully he says, Katradanal aya payan enkol. So many things we study, what do you think should be the purpose? Valarivan natrar todar enin. That super intelligence, Valarivan, that pure intelligence, that pure consciousness. If you are not able to intuitively perceive it, then what is the purpose? Meaning, all knowledge should finally take us to the knowledge of the divine. Then only that knowledge has found its purpose. If Dukrankarane can take you to God realization, that is the fulfillment of Dukrankarane. Any knowledge, not any knowledge, every knowledge should take us to the appreciation of the divine. Bhaja Govindam. And how do you come to that appreciation of the divine? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam 3 times. Why? Because you can have 3 approaches to the divine. One is the approach through knowledge. Another is the approach through one is the approach through your intelligence. Another is an approach you can have through your heart, love. When you approach that through your intelligence, it's called Jnana Marga, the path of knowledge. Approach to the divinity through the heart is called as Bhakti Marga. An approach through the way of action is called as Karma. So that is how you have Jnana Yoga, you have the Bhakti Yoga, and then you have the Karma Yoga. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. So there was one point of the discussion. Which is best? Right? Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. Which is best? It all depends on you. Don't ask which is best. Ask the question, what is best for me? What is best for me? What is best for me? Ask this question. So, if you like to think, if that is your strength, understanding is your strength, deeper comprehension is your strength, seeing the subtleties of things is your strength, razor sharp intelligence is your strength, then choose Jnana Yoga. Choose the study of Vedanta. If your strength is emotions, love, you can forgive someone. You don't hold deep grudges. You can see the good of others. The faults of others just vanish when they express a simple smile. Yes, you know that person has got so many defects, but you don't take that person with the defects seriously. In fact, even the most wicked person in your love melts and becomes good. If you can accept others unconditionally, if you can touch somebody in their heart, and if the other person's feelings, emotions, thoughts also touch you, then you are very powerful with your heart faculty. You are very powerful in love. This is not the love which makes you fall. That's why we say, I fall in love. This is not that love which makes you fall. This is that love which makes you rise. You fall in love, you rise in devotion. Between love and devotion, the difference is only one. In devotion, the altar is high. I am devoted to the country. I am devoted to the nation. I am devoted to God. I am devoted to the principles of truth and non-violence. I am devoted to the principles of patriotism. I am devoted for, etc. It's high. In love, it's either equal or low. I love my dog. You can be devoted to dog also. I am devoted to animals. That's a different one. I am devoted to all creatures of the world. That is a very different one. Because that's a higher principle in action. Right? So, then comes the force of the heart. Bhaja Govindam. One more. And next comes Govindam, Bhaja Govindam again. And what is that? And that is the ability to act. To bring forth that love for God through the realm of action. So that's called Karma Yoga. So in Jnana Yoga, one takes the pursuit of the scriptures deeply. Vedanta. In Bhakti Yoga, again Bhakti Yoga also has got scriptures which guide us, but one uses the facility of our heart with love, emotions. And another is the capacity of our action. I like to act. I like to do things. I like to... Yes. But then when you do, don't say, I'll do it. Rather say, I'm an instrument in God. I am an instrument in God's hands. I am the flute in Bhagavan Sri Krishna's lips. I am the flute. Why? What melody he creates, that's what comes out through me. In other words, all our energies, all our strengths, all our capacities, I offer it at the feet of the Lord as my worship. I offer all my abilities, all my capacities And as I bring out the action, I know it is God expressing through me. I am only an instrument. Whatever I do is my worship to the God. Now this is called as Karma Yoga. Choose any of the ways. Choose all of the ways also if you want. It is not necessarily that only I am Jnana Yoga, I'm so like a rock I am and no emotion is there. No, it's not like that. It's very rarely it's like that. Actually, one is a combination of all. In other words, when you act, be a Karma Yogi. When you sing in devotion, be a Bhakti Yogi. And when you meditate deep inside yourself, be a Jnana Yogi. Use the faculties of your body, of your mind, of your intellect. Right? And through in this way, walk the path to God realization. Walk the path to self-realization. For this is the highest potential which is bestowed upon the humankind, which you alone can do. Yes, the dog can eat a biscuit and then wag its tail and say, I love you. But that you cannot ask the dog, from where is this biscuit coming? This biscuit is made up of wheat. Wheat is coming from earth. Who created earth? If you sit like that to the dog and you talk, the dog will say, bah, 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 bah. And only know that you are talking to him. But this is your right, your privilege. This is your right. Freedom is your birthright, you say, no? What freedom? That is one freedom. Freedom from bondage is your birthright. You alone can do it because you are a human being. Have you exploited this potential to the highest? If not, between you and animal, there is not much difference. Sorry to say. That is why Shankaracharya says, Mudamate. Mudamate means what? You have a mati. You have a mati. Mati means intelligence. Mudamati means what? Your intelligence is deluded. Mudamati. Wake up from your delusions. Come to see the greater purposes of life and become fulfilled. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Swamiji, I am not a Govinda worshipper, I am a Shiva Bhakta. Names don't matter. Whatever names. If you are in this country, you will have Shiva, Krishna, Rama, etc. If you are from some other country, you will have some other names of your country. It doesn't matter. Whichever culture you belong to, whichever country you belong to, God is not a property of anyone. God belongs to all. Names belong to different. I call God as Shiva. Yes. I call Bhagavan as Vishnu. Yes. I call Bhagavan as Rama. Yes. I call Bhagavan as whatever names you may give. I call Bhagavan as Yahweh. Yahweh, which tradition? The Jewish tradition. Yahweh. I call God as Allah. Yeah, different tradition. Doesn't matter. Names may differ. God does not have confusion on who is being called. God knows He is only being called. Human beings may have some confusion, but God is very clear. God has no problem. Okay? Choose whatever way you want to approach the divine, but choose the divine. Whatever way you have choice. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, you have choice. Mixture of one or two, yes, you have choice. But if you don't choose this, then your human embodiment is rendered waste. Swamiji, are you sure is rendered waste? Yes, waste. How can you say like that? I'm a very respectable person in the society. And you're calling. Yeah, so what? Within the community of dogs, one dog holds greater respect. What difference does it make finally? Yeah, when that dog goes, all the dogs keep quiet and move away. Yeah, it is there. But a respectable dog is also a dog. That doesn't change the fact of things. If you want to go from man, if you want to grow from if you want to discover your true nature of being one with that ultimate, that is what you can do. Do it. You can do it, you must do it. What, Swamiji? I can do it. What should I do? Find out your true nature and discover your oneness with the highest. Okay? Tat Tvam Asi. If you have not done it, He Mudamate, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. Shall we read this once more? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrinkarane. When one dies, when one knows, careful listen, when one dies, when one knows that one is not dying, then that is called as knowledge. Swamiji, say again. When one dies, when one knows that one is not dying, but only that the body is dying, then one has not died. Say it again, Swamiji. When one dies, when one knows that one does not die, but only that the body dies, then one has not died. Discover that. Don't just discover it by making some statements like this. Discover it by seeing the truth of it yourself. When one dies, when one knows that one doesn't die, but only that the body dies. And that one is the deathless spirit. One is a deathless consciousness. Then one has not died, because one never dies. Because one is never born. What is born is the body. What dies is the body. When the body is born, one is not born. Only body is born. And when the body dies, only the body dies. One has not died. To say this intellectually is one thing, but to say it experientially is another thing. And that is the difference between jnana and vijnana. Indian thoughts, we call it as darshana. Why do we call it darshana? Because it is experience. It's not intellectualizations. Western philosophy is intellectualizations. Intellectualizations. Conjectures. Very nice, nothing wrong about it. But you don't ask a Western philosopher, have you experienced it? But in Indian philosophy, in Indian darshana, we ask, is it your experience or you are saying it simply? So when Swami Vivekanandaji went to ask Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, have you seen God? He says, yes. And what does he say? I see God more clearly than I see you. We should also come to that. That is the purpose of this. Swamiji, in 7 days, so sab ho jayega. First you understand. Then you walk the path. Then you come to realize it. Okay? We'll conclude now. Tomorrow's session we can continue further. You go through the revise. Right? First verse is now over. Huh? More points are there in the commentary. You can go through it. Gurudev's commentary, beautiful. You will enjoy it. What are the various meanings of the word Govinda, etc., are there. Go through it. Go through, enjoy, revel, and abide. Shall we conclude? Shri Krishna.
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.